In a battle, you either win or you lose. You can't prove yourself unless you beat your opponent. Hanebado is not a battle anime. It's not a sports anime. It's not even a badminton anime. And before you close the video, let me tell you what it is about. It is a look at competition. This anime will probably never be remembered as a classic or a must-watch or anything of the sorts. I didn't even know the manga existed until the anime came out. This series is pretty new, with the manga that started on 2013 having only 12 volumes. It is the third manga from the author. One of those other two being a good basketball manga but forgettable, and another being a love story with a lot of wasted potential. For I always remember Hanebado as a piece of media that diverted from the status quo. Just because of that, it is amongst my favorite anime of all time. It is about a bunch of super cute girls and some boys that like to play badminton. A wholesome show that makes you look at their faces as their psychological damage paints their faces. But the badminton is not the point, as I have already stated. All the girls want to win, and all of them lose. It explores how different types of people deal with the expectations of winning. First, I will let you know why it's not the things I listed at the beginning. Many sports anime center around, you guessed it, the sport. This can be considered as a fight in Dragon Ball Z, or a duel in Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters testing their physical and mental abilities with each other, for the sake of winning someone else or to save the world. During this physical and mental exercise, the characters grow as people and serve as the most important part of the show. Hanebado pays more attention to the preparation and the aftermath of a match. The match is important, but we never get to see a full match, because it's not important to what the show is trying to say. It's not a sports anime for basically the same reason. The match is not the most important part, but it goes a bit deeper. The author has a good understanding of what badminton is about, and you can see it in the matches, but it is extremely rare for someone to explain the match to you. Picture Hajime no Ippo, where from the start of the show, boxing is being explained to us as it is being explained to Ippo. Whenever there is an important fight, there are always these pauses where the coach or Takamura explain what is going on. Hajime no Ippo is a sports anime. In Hanebado, badminton is never really explained to us. If you don't know about the sport, then you may not appreciate the animation details certain specific techniques have. So, it's not really a sports anime. This does happen in the last few episodes, but it is just for highly specific situations or to keep hyping up the match. And as you may have already guessed, it is not a badminton anime because it doesn't center around the badminton. It is a show that mainly centers around its characters. Now on to what it is about. Competition. We all grow up to compete. It's fed to us since we're kids. I'm not telling you that competition is intrinsically bad, don't get me wrong. I'm telling you that it is a scary thing if we let it run free. Let me give you some quotes. Don't try to be the fastest runner of your school, or the fastest in the world. Be the fastest ever. Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. Sounds like your typical inspirational quote, right? But if everyone's the best, no one is.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg, and my arm, even my fingers. The body I've lost. The comrades I've lost.
Someone is gonna be the best, and even if you try, you might not get there. What if you sacrifice everything for your dream, and you don't make it? I'm painting a pretty dystopic picture, don't you think? Scary to some, perhaps. Well, these quotes come from a love that I get with the first NFL player that took a knee. Without context and bias, it just sounds like a little too much. Also, the guy sacrificed a lot until he got paid a lot to do an ad that tells you to be willing to sacrifice everything. It just doesn't make sense. We're constantly fed that we are special, that you can be anything you want, when in reality that's not true.
Everyone grows up being told the same thing.
Be nice to other people.
But beat out the competition.
You're special. Believe in yourself and you will succeed.
But it's obvious from the start that only a few can succeed.
You exercise your right to freedom, and this is the result.
Around here, someone comes and gives an example of someone without legs and arms that climbed the mountain, and that anything is possible. How many people with the same condition have achieved something like that? How many people without any handicap have done something like that? Are you just not trying hard enough? Does that devalue everyone else? No, of course not. But many people feel like it, subconsciously. Let me give you the example of Half Coordinated. He's a speedrunner that has this condition that doesn't let him coordinate the right side of his body very well. And he still is a speedrunner and plays games amazingly. And because of this, many people like to use him as an example of, see, you just have to try hard enough. But he doesn't really like this that much. I haven't found the tweets where he specifically said so, because it's been a while. But he is one of the biggest advocates for accessibility, like in his speedrun Nier Automata. He has said that he can only speedrun the game because it has a fully customizable controller scheme. He would be able to play it with the normal controller scheme, but he wouldn't be able to speedrun it. He simply wouldn't be able to. And this is my point. We are not all special. We cannot all be the center stage of a success story. Are you around the age of 25? Do you have this glooming feeling that your chance to do anything that is worthwhile is growing lower? That by now you should have done something extraordinary, or at least noticeable? A lot of people feel like this, and it is mostly due to what I've been saying. You are expected to be the best. If you're not productive, if you're not better than the people around you, then society doesn't really value you. Again, we don't live in a dystopia, yet, but many feel like it. I don't remember who said this, but I really like it. Don't chase your dreams, instead bring them with you. Because if you can achieve your dream, then great, but if you can't, it doesn't mean your life amounted to nothing. The show has two main characters, but it usually centers on one character at a time, not specifically the main characters, in what I call sub-stories. I thoroughly enjoy this, as we see the same situation being expected to win and losing through all these unique and colorful characters. This is why I love this show. We will look at the different characters here, so I may explain to you my love to Yukiteru Hayama and Uebina on the same situation, Kaoruku's Serigaya, Nagisa Aragaki, and Ayano Hanesaki. Yukiteru has played badminton since he was a kid, and he was good. He got his best friend in on it too, and his friend quickly becomes better than him. This is where the expectations come into play. He keeps training hard, hoping hard work will trump talent. Most of his friends expect he will lose, but encourage him on anyways, to give it his best, to work hard. Yukiteru enjoys badminton. He enjoys training this hard, so the pressure is not that heavy on him. But it is to you. You watches him train. She sees how hard he works, and how it almost always amounts to a loss. When the badminton club is encouraging Yukiteru, you snaps. She shouts in tears, "You don't have to work hard anymore." And she's right. He has given his best, he has trained countless hours, but he's still not up to the upper levels challenge. It's okay if he stops trying hard anymore. It's okay to realize he reached his limit. He doesn't need to keep going. But he still does. This is where the anime deviates from the status quo. How many anime, movies, books, cartoons, or whatever have you watched where people tell the main character that they should stop? That they don't have to push themselves as hard anymore? And they're all seen in a negative light for trying to halt the main character's progress. For a lot of people, no matter how hard you try, they will not be the best. And that is completely okay. I didn't feel like the show put you under a negative light when she said this. She was empathizing with Yukiteru, because she knows how it feels not to be good enough to play on the big leagues, but everyone around her keeps telling her to keep working hard because you should win. The thing is, Yukiteru enjoys working hard even if he knows it won't amount to much. And that is also completely okay, but expecting the same from everyone will end up emotionally and mentally hurting someone. Then comes Kaoruko. She's way simpler than the last characters, but her issue is just as relatable. She believes skill is the only thing that matters. She basically believes what society told her. Your skill is proportional to your self-value. Her situation also shows the second most important part of the show, the power of friendship. And this is not some stupid crap about I win because I have friends. She lost pretty bad. But her only real friend was there for her, to cry alongside her. Sometimes this is all you need, a hand tightly grasping your shoulder, or a unison sob. Thanks to these people that love you no matter what, that support you and cry with you, it is easier to stand up again. Her friend never explicitly said that it is okay to lose, because no one in competition likes to hear that. It's like they just gave up on you. It's still nice though, to have them there when you lose and their feelings towards you haven't changed. Thanks to this friendship, she's able to cope with her loss and keeps practicing the sport she loves. Now Nagisa Aragaki. Her full character development arc happens in the first 2 or 3 episodes of the show. She takes a loss against Ayano, 21-0, or love how it is in badminton. Have you ever had a loss like that? An important match where you were so overwhelmed by your opponent that you literally couldn't do anything. It feels awful. It feels like everything you've done to that point has just been invalidated. Nagisa feels like this, and the first answer she obtains is to keep training even harder. She forces everyone on the club to do the same, and a lot of them end up quitting. At this point, she doesn't want to win. She needs to win. In the end, with the help of her friends, cough cough, power friendship, cough cough, she manages to get out of that mindset, but we don't see how she changed until the final episodes. We're now on fucking spoilers territory. She finally gets to the match with Ayano in the finals. She has a knee problem, but this is just a bit of artificial enhancement, something that really has not much use being there to the story, other than making it more exciting. She wants to win. She doesn't need to. She wants to. To the point where in each serve she says, "Let's have some fun." She has now coped with the idea of competition. She's not playing to win. She's also not playing just for fun. She enjoys playing at high levels and pushing herself further. Competing is a great way to do this. She is not looking down on Ayano, nor does she have any disdain towards her. She wants to win, but not as a final goal, but as a way to prove it to herself that she is not the same person that lost 21-0. Even if she doesn't win, this desire and giving it all of her heart will be proof enough. Right now, they are just 2 badminton players trying their best. Now, Ayano gets the most spotlight in the show, because her character development arc lasts for the whole show. And oh man, oh boy, poor Ayano. Okay, she is the best example of what not to do to a kid in terms of competition. Like I said, we are on heavy spoilers territory. Her mom was like, abandoning my daughter will make her a better badminton player, and so she did. Ayano was left with a deep-rooted sense of abandonment, which she justified it by thinking she was simply not good enough for her mom. Winning is all that matters. If I win, I am valuable. Remember the beginning of the video where I pointed out how competition is fed to us? She is the result of that type of thinking. A broken person that distances herself from others because interpersonal relationships don't matter. Being effective, being productive, winning at badminton is the only thing that matters. Now, on to the final match. And man, I love how they did it. All the dialogue cuts, you see characters talk but can't hear them. Gradually the coloring turns white. All we hear is two girls panting, exhausted, giving their heart into the sport they love. We don't really see how the match plays anymore, because it is not important anymore. Remember the beginning of the video? In a battle, you either win
戦いは勝つか負けるかのどっちかで。
相手を倒さなきゃ自分の強さは証明できない。
This is the philosophy that competition's final goal is to beat others, to be better than everyone else. And as I have been saying, it is a very dangerous way of thinking. Ayano has given up. She wanted to win because that meant she could abandon her mother now. But seeing defeat in the horizon, she felt like she was going to be abandoned again. But her colleagues cheered her on. Her only true friend still cheers her on after all these years. This makes her snap out of it, because even if her mom abandoned her, her childhood friend was always there. Despite everything, she was there. Ayano became a fucking bitch. But there was always this one person, this angel of a human being that never abandoned her. Upon this realization, she was able to move on from her shitty mom and play badminton for the same reason Nagisa does. They love badminton. When competing against other people, that's what they are. People, not some obstacle for you to surpass, not some stepping stone for your own benefit. The person on the other side of the court wants to win as much as you do. Maybe more, maybe less, but they are there, alive, struggling, enjoying themselves, suffering, laughing, playing with you. What you see on the other side of the net is always
自分の心